Paddington in Peru is not directed by Paul King. Instead, this third addition to the franchise is directed by Dougal Wilson, and it does not star Sally Hawkins as Mrs. Brown. However, Ben Whishaw does return as the lovable Peruvian bear we all know and love, as does the rest of the Brown family. Now, does this change in director and actress taking over for Sally Hawkins, does that really make a difference when it comes to the overall quality of this movie? I would say yes. Unfortunately, Paddington in Peru is quite the disappointment. I am a huge fan of the first two Paddington films, especially that second one. Everybody loves Paddington 2, but there is such a charm and energy and just warm fuzziness to those films that it makes you feel good. You can sit down with the family, you can sit down with loved ones, you can watch it on your own, and you'll just feel, joy and delight watching this little Peruvian bear navigate, a different city, and he's so nice and so cute and has such great manners and etiquette. They're just great quality, feel-good movies that actually have a great sense of humor, great stories, and, fun times. When it comes to this third installment of the franchise, I found the plot really hard to get into. I don't know if there were different writers for this one or what, but it was really hard for me to connect with what was going on in terms of plot. I am going to discuss slight spoilers here, so if you don't want to get spoiled on the film, go watch the movie, then you can come back. You've been warned. So I liked the opening of the movie. I like catching up with the Browns in Paddington and seeing where things are. He's kind of, missing Peru a little bit. He wants to see Aunt Lucy, and so, things unfold and we end up going to Peru. Okay, I like the opening. Once we get to Peru, however, the plot seems to not really know where it's going, and honestly, the writing felt like they were just kind of making up things as they went along. When it comes to the villains, I think that's really where this film kind of doesn't know where it wants to go. We have Antonio Banderas and we have Olivia Colman, and we come to find out that they're both after the same thing. Everything that happens leads up to them all discovering El Dorado, the city of gold. And there's this whole subplot involving the history of Antonio Banderas' family and how they're cursed, they're haunted by greed and just the need to find the city of gold. And he's kind of battling with this himself because he doesn't want to disappoint his daughter, but he really wants to, honor his family. And I just didn't really care about this. First of all, the relationship between Antonio Banderas' character and his daughter is just not that interesting. And also, she does virtually nothing in this movie. My fiance and I, we kind of thought she was going to be like a romantic love interest maybe for Jonathan or something like that, but that didn't really happen. So we were kind of wondering, okay, what she's going to do, and she just really does nothing. I did like the visualization of Antonio Banderas' character's inner turmoil, wanting to honor his family. That was kind of like the bad side, go after the gold, forget it, who cares if it hurts this little lovable bear, And I liked how those characters were brought to life. And then we have Olivia Colman's character, who's actually not a nun, and she's responsible for the disappearance of Aunt Lucy, trying to get Paddington from London to figure out this whole thing. And then Imelda Staunton's character starting to figure that out, and then, shenanigans ensue, and we don't know who to trust, and I don't know. I feel like things just get a little convoluted, and when everything comes together in the end, it's like, okay, I guess I get what they were going for, but did it really need to go this way? And I just didn't care still. Another issue is that, besides Paddington and Hugh Bonneville's character, who was really good in this. He was probably one of the funniest parts of the movie. There's really not a lot to do for the rest of the characters. Imelda Staunton gets her little moments with Olivia Colman's character, but Jonathan and Judy, they really do nothing. They barely have dialogue in this. And then there's a whole subplot going on with Emily Mortimer's character. She replaced Sally Hawkins, so she's playing Mrs. Brown, where she really wants the family to come together and, do stuff because Jonathan's in his room all day playing video games, and Judy's about to go off to college, so she feels like, And then Mr. Brown also has this whole embrace risk thing because his boss changed at work, and they're really about embrace risk, which I thought was interesting because Haley Atwell is playing his boss, and she was kind of wasted in this role. It's very much a cameo sort of role, but also the character is supposed to be American, and they got a Brit playing American, which isn't anything new. I just thought it was funny. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I just found the plot kind of convoluted and not all that interesting, and there was a lot going on, but certain things aren't developed enough to where you really care about them, particularly when it came to lots of the characters involved. Obviously, Paddington being at the center of it, he has the most developed arc, and I do like where the ending leads to. It was a very sweet ending. I will give the film that. The ending is very sweet. You know, my fiance teared up a little bit, which made me tear up, and it's very nice. But the twist that's revealed that leads us to the very ending is kind of dumb. Again, spoilers if you didn't get the first memo. Well, big spoilers here. El Dorado is revealed to be just a massive orange grove. This is where Paddington is originally from. That's where he grew up, and a little accident led to him being lost, and that's how Aunt Lucy found him. So tons of orange groves, and Paddington teaches him how to make marmalade, and then they become friends, and you know, blah blah blah. But I don't know, I just didn't buy that. You know, I wasn't too fond of the whole El Dorado treasure hunting angle anyway, but if they were gonna do that, I felt like they should have leaned into it. And I don't mind like them sort of making a joke about the whole El Dorado City of Gold thing. It's like, that's actually not what this is. But I don't know, just a massive like orange grove with bears living there. And then there are the bear guardians that like keep watch over the Amazon in like trees. It just didn't work for me. For whatever reason, Paddington in Peru, it just didn't have the same level of charm and wit and energy that the other films do. This one just wasn't as funny. Tonally, something felt off kind of throughout the movie. You know, I think Emily Mortimer is a great actress, but she just couldn't replace Sally Hawkins here. It's not even that her performance was off, it's just that like the character felt a bit more bland. She felt a bit more stale. You know, Sally Hawkins brought such a life and exuberance to that character that Emily Mortimer just, it wasn't capturing, in my opinion. Dougal Wilson's direction isn't bad, and there are a lot of like fun little creative flourishes and stylistic decisions made here that, you know, make for some fun editing or some cool visuals. But I don't know, you know, there was an over-reliance and overuse of CGI in this film that wasn't as present in the other two films, and so that was a little bit distracting. And also just the pacing was inconsistent. I think the film felt a little bit too long. There were stretches that kind of dragged or just like didn't hit with the humor that it was going for. But at the same time, I felt like I wanted a bit more time to develop certain characters like Gina, or give the brown kids a little bit more to do. Maybe develop some of the character relationships a bit more, so there's a bit more to latch onto, to connect to. I wasn't feeling any of that while watching this, and it was extremely disappointing because I was really looking forward to this. You know, this came out last year pretty much everywhere else in the world, and now it's coming to North America, and I'm a big fan of Paddington 1 and 2, and we even brought this Paddington plush to the movie with our Paddington popcorn bucket, and I was just really let down, and now I'm kind of bummed out. I even have another Paddington right here behind me, and I have Paddington 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. You know, I really freaking like Paddington, and this was a disappointment. I really did think about like not making a video review at all, because I didn't want this to come off as like I hate the movie, it's trash, you know. But I just wasn't really feeling it. But with all that being said, it's not a bad movie. It's definitely not bad. It's just disappointing, and you know, that kind of hurts worse in a few ways. But at the same time, you know, there is a very impressive production here. I love the set design and the settings used, and the cinematography is good. And there are some fun moments. There are some chuckle-worthy moments. There are a few good laughs. There are some emotionally satisfying moments too, especially near the end of the film. But overall, everything just didn't come together in a way that felt like complete and satisfying to me. It just felt like the writing team just didn't come in with a proper game plan for this one. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to top Paddington 2 in any way, or even the first film, you know, but I was expecting something, you know, on par with the consistency that we've gotten so far. I'll end this by saying that the end credits, there are a couple post-credit scenes. So stick around in the movie theater if you want to see, you know, post-credit scenes. Are they teasing a Paddington 4? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll let you decide that. But if it is, then I am hopeful that if they decide to do another film, that it'll be better than this one. Because who shows up in the post-credit scene? Let's just say it's fun. It makes for some intriguing possibilities if they do decide to do a Paddington 4. And that's all I'll say. So those are my thoughts on Paddington in Peru. Have you seen the film? If you have, did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think I'm completely wrong? Let me know. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, because on Letterboxd and IMDb, I mean, the ratings are generally positive. They're definitely not as good as the first two films, but, you know, I feel like I'm kind of in the minority in thinking that this one was pretty disappointing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next movie review.